Hi, welcome back to Kitten Crochet. Today I'm going to teach you a stitch that is used all the time and is really kind of a fun one to make and a fast one to make. And it goes by multiple different names. So some people call it the moss stitch, which is what I most commonly see it as, but I've also seen it called the seed stitch or the linen stitch or the granite stitch. So it goes by a multitude of different names. But all it needs is single crochet and chain. So it's pretty fun. So here is a small sample. For this one I did 30 stitches and mine ended up being a tiny bit narrow, so I really should have done 32 stitches to make it 6 inches. But you can experiment and see how many you need. For this sample I just did a chain of 10. I might do a little more, let's do 12. And you just have to start with an even number. So it doesn't matter how many you start with as long as it's an even number. So now I'm going to single crochet in the 4th chain from my hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet. 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 Now if you started it right with an even number and working the 4th chain from the hook, you should be at the very last stitch when you do a single crochet. So that is the foundation to set up for the moss stitch. Now you're going to chain 2, and that counts as your first single crochet and chain 1 basically. Now you're not going to actually work into the single crochets. To do the moss stitch you're going to work into the space you created with all of your chains. All those chain 1s that you did in between each single crochet, we call that a chain 1 space. So we're going to do a single crochet into the chain 1 space. So I don't actually work into the stitch, I'm going into that space that I've made. And I'm going to do a single crochet and chain 1. And here at the very beginning, remember I worked into that 4th chain, so that very beginning chain counts as a chain 1 space. I'm going to work into that space also. And I'm going to end with a single crochet, not with a chain. Alright, so that's one row. So with 12 stitches I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets and my starting turn. So it's like 6, right? Half the length of your chain is how many single crochets you'll have if you're counting that turning chain 2. Alright, so I'll show you another row. That's really it. You just do this the whole time. So chain 2 to turn, and then I will work not in that single crochet, but in the chain 1 space that I made next to it. So I'll do a single crochet in the chain 1 space, and then chain 1, and work back across. I feel like there's something about this stitch, it's like one of the most relaxing stitches ever to do. Maybe it's just less strain because you don't have to worry exactly about putting your hook through the right loop or whatever. But I just find it really kind of peaceful and relaxing. So you're always, always, always working into the chain 1 space that you made on the previous row. So it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, sometimes that last one is a little tricky to see. Single crochet to finish the row. Alright, so that is the moss stitch, or the granite stitch, or the seed stitch, or the linen stitch, depending on who you're talking to. And it makes this fabric, it's pretty dense, but it's pretty stretchy, especially up and down. So you can see how much it stretches out. It doesn't stretch as much from side to side because those chain 1 stitches make it pretty tight. So it's something to keep in mind if you're designing like a garment. You're going to have a lot of stretch one way and not a lot of stretch the other way when you do this pattern, which could be really useful. Okay, so that's that. Stay tuned for next week. I do have a bonus pattern coming soon for you that's going to use moss stitch and a couple of other things to make some cute little mug rugs. Here I've got samples. So these 3 different bonus patterns will be coming your way in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified of the new videos, and happy crocheting!